Bowen asked the internet then who the richest black YouTuber in America is. 3 videos. 3 confident answers. One crowns a streamer who screams at video games. One crowns a tech reviewer who whispers about phones. One crowns a man who doesn't say anything at all. Same question, same search bar, completely different kings. Here is what nobody tells you. Those videos aren't lying to you. They're just not answering the question you think you asked. Because richest is 3 different questions wearing one word. What did you earn this year? What is everything you own worth? And what do you actually own that pays you while you sleep? This film answers all 3 with receipts. Start with the loudest answer because the loudest answer is real. In 2025, IShowSpeed, Darren Watkins Jr. earned an estimated $20 million. 1 year, one 21-year-old, 118 million followers watching him do it. That's not a salary. Nobody pays Speed a salary. That's sponsorships, appearances, merchandise, and an attention machine that runs 24 hours a day across 3 platforms. Here's the catch, and it's the first lesson of this whole film. $20 million is what flowed through the door in 1 year. It is not what Speed is worth. A streamer earning $20 million with a touring schedule, a team, taxes in multiple countries, and a lifestyle built for content keeps less than the headline suggests. The internet's net worth sites will tell you Speed is worth anywhere from 10 million to 100 million. Every one of those numbers is a guess. Nobody outside his business manager has seen the books. What we can verify, the earnings, 20 million, 2025, documented by industry reporting. The loudest king has the biggest paycheck, not necessarily the biggest vault. Before we crown anyone, 2 giants have to leave the room. The first is the quietest rich man on the platform. Khaby Lame, 258 million followers, $20 million in earnings, the most followed person on TikTok, who built an empire without saying a word. So, he is not eligible. Khaby Lame is Italian, Senegalese descent, born in Senegal, raised in Chivasso. The question said, America. The second is heavier than everyone will mention today. Combined, KSI, co-founder of Prime Hydration, the drink that generated over $1 billion in revenue in its first year on shelves. Misfits Boxing, Sidemen, a music career, a judge's chair on Britain's Got Talent. Prime alone makes KSI's equity position arguably the most valuable in the creator economy. He is not eligible either. KSI is British. Watch what just happened, because it's the second lesson of this film. The bracket didn't shrink because people got poorer. It shrank because a search phrase has borders. In America, quietly deleted the 2 richest black creators on earth from the results. The internet's answers weren't wrong. They were answering a narrower question than you typed. Which brings us to the man the tech world already knows and the wealth channels keep overlooking. Marques Brownlee, MKBHD, 2025 earnings, $10 million. On paper, half of Speed. Now look closer. Marques has been uploading since 2008. Not 5 years of screaming, 17 years of catalog, thousands of videos, billions of views, an archive that earns advertising money every single day like rent on digital property. The best technology reviewer on the planet, that's not a fan's phrase. That's what a Google vice president called him. And in February 2024, he did something the wealth channels missed. He joined Ridge, the accessories company behind one of the most successful wallet brands of the last decade, as a board member and chief creative partner. Not a sponsorship, a board seat, a seat at the table where ownership decisions get made. Nobody outside the company knows the size of his stake. Any site claiming a number made it up. But understand the category shift. Everyone else on this list gets paid to promote brands. Marques helps govern one. Earnings pay for this year. Equity pays for decades. Back to the loud side of the bracket. Kai Cenat holds the record for the most subscribed Twitch streamer who has ever lived. Over 1 million concurrent subscribers during his marathon streams. 21 million followers. He is, by raw numbers, the most popular live broadcaster of his generation. 2025 earnings, $8.5 million. That number should feel strange. The most subscribed streamer in history earns less than half of what Speed earned. Less than the comedy creator Drewski, who pulled in 14 million. How? Because Twitch subscriptions are wages. Fame converts to money through rates, subscriber splits, ad shares, sponsorship valuations. Kai's fame is arguably the biggest raw attention asset in the bracket, but attention price per hour, per stream, per month is a paycheck. Attention converted into ownership is a fortune. Kai is the highest paid employee of his own popularity. The ceiling for a wage earner, even a record-breaking one, is lower than the ceiling for an owner. That's not a criticism, it's arithmetic. The middle of the bracket is a portfolio exhibition. DDG, Daryl Granberry Jr., started filming in his dorm room at Central Michigan, dropped out within a year, and turned YouTube into a rap career, a boxing card, and a streaming deal. The internet's estimates of his worth range from 5 million to 13 million, a spread so wide it's a confession that nobody knows. Drusky turned sketch comedy into $14 million and collaborations with Drake and Lil Yachty. Coulda Been Records, the fake label that became a real business. Duke Dennis rode NBA 2K content and the AMP Collective into the 8-figure conversation. And on the women's side of the bracket, a story the search results barely mention. Nara Smith, 9 million. Monet McMichael, 7.7. The highest earning black women creators in America top out at roughly half the earnings of their male counterparts at the same follower scale. The richest black YouTuber conversation has been almost entirely about men because the search phrase itself skews the bracket before a single number gets checked. So, who is the richest black YouTuber in America? The honest answer has 3 crowns. By verified earnings, the only number anyone can actually document, the king is IShowSpeed. $20 million in a single year is the biggest documented paycheck in the bracket. By career value, catalog depth, 17 years of compounding, a board seat at a 9-figure accessories company, the strongest documented position belongs to Marques Brownlee. And by total net worth, nobody knows, including every video you've ever watched on this question. The numbers on those net worth channels are decorative. Here's the final lesson, and it's the reason this question never gets settled. Earnings, net worth, and equity are 3 different sports. Speed is winning the sprint. Marques is winning the marathon. The sites that crown a single king are ranking sprinters against marathon runners and calling it a scoreboard. But if you force the single crown answer, if you demand one name for the vault, not the paycheck, the strongest documented wealth position in American black YouTube belongs to Marques Brownlee, the quiet architect. While everyone else was chasing views, he was building the thing views can't buy, ownership. And the loudest man on the internet is 21 years old, earning 20 million a year, with his equity era still ahead of him. Because here's what the whole bracket reveals when you step back. Every king in this film got there the same way. Not one of them inherited a platform. Not one of them got a boss's approval. They turned attention into income, and income, if you're patient, into ownership. Speed's $20 million year started with a kid streaming NBA games to nobody. Marques's board seat started with a teenager reviewing a laptop in his dorm, a video that probably got 40 views. Kai's million-subscriber record started in a bedroom in the Bronx. The bracket will look different in 5 years. That's the point. This isn't a dynasty, it's a live auction, and the bidding never closes. The only question that matters is which of these creators turns attention into ownership before the algorithm turns elsewhere. The richest black YouTuber in America is whoever figures that out first. And now you know how to measure it.